What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Bourbon and Bullshit, the podcast where everyone's welcome to the table to share a good conversation, a great drink, and even better company, and a little bit of BS. So grab a seat, pour up something neat, and welcome to the show. Hey guys, welcome back. So this is part 2 of our most recent episode. So you last saw us getting a little bit drunk, enjoying some Publix chicken, and graphic throwing pennies at people. So hopefully you guys have stayed tuned, enjoyed the first episode, and let's see where the rest of the show goes. And we are back. And to give you guys some context, we are at technically third pour, but we've poured 2 drinks of each bottle so far, at least. And Gad is going to walk you through what just occurred immediately when we took our water break.
Why you gotta shame me like this, man?
I just want people to know where we're at.
You didn't prepare enough snacks.
What do you mean? We ate a box of chicken.
How many chicken wings?
Like, there were like 32 of them.
How many chicken wings are in the Publix chicken wing box? Because there's one left.
Where shopping is a pleasure. Hashtag not a sponsor, but if you want to holler at me, we will eat chicken on every episode. Go ahead and tell everyone listening.
I do have an update. As of 1 minute ago, our pizza was taken out of the oven.
So we get out here and we're like, we're going to get some water. He's like, yeah, I'm going to order pizza. Y'all want some?
And no one disagreed.
No one disagreed.
No one was upset.
To be clear, Kevin did not say yes, but I'm chunky.
He didn't say no.
I did not. It was obviously a foregone conclusion that we were getting a pizza.
Yeah,
yes.
It's everyone's down. But to give you a little bit of context of what we're going to next, Kev? I know you don't drink as much as me because one of us has to drive. No one does. Yes, 100%. What is your go-to, not only drunk meal, but then your hangover meal? They could be 2 separate things.
So the drunk meal, this is actually largely dictated by my SO, but it's going to be Publix chicken wings.
Really?
Yes, that is. We will destroy one of those platters of chicken wings.
You're welcome.
Yes. That might be your fault. Like when we've been doing the whiskey tastings here, we religiously have brought chicken wings. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if that somehow has sunk in, but...
What's the thing where you press a button and hand someone a mint? What's that thing?
Is that from The Office?
The Pez dispenser?
No, the fucking... It's like an actual, like...
Pavlov's dog?
Pavlov's dog, yeah.
Yeah. So chicken wings is kind of a mainstay for being drunk and eating that. For hangover, I mean, I'm a big fan of breakfast food anyways, but... steak, egg, and cheese bagel for McDonald's.
They just brought those back too.
Yeah, they've been back for a little while.
Those things hit.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the fact that Ravik and I's relationship is damn near fully based off of McGriddles?
Steak, egg, cheese bagels?
No, McGriddles. This man, we used to work together, and a couple mornings he would show up like, "Hey man, you're late," and he's like, "Shut up," and he would throw like a bag of McGriddles at me, like it was the unloaded
the
truck.
Nerve on these people! Like there'd be like 12 of us. And, like, every day there'd be, like, 4 or 5 of them late. And then there'd be, like, days where I'm like, I'm going to order everyone breakfast. So I go to McDonald's, and I'm there, like, 45 minutes early. And I order, like, 25 sandwiches. And it takes
an asshole.
There's, like, one guy working there. So it takes a while for 25 sandwiches.
And he's staring at you like you piece of shit.
He hates your ass. He probably tells stories about you to his grandkids.
He's on a separate podcast venting about you right now.
I show up, like, 5 minutes late to work. And I'm giving everyone sandwiches. And they're like... they're all giving me shit, and then all of a sudden I break out the bag of sandwiches, and then they're like, "Oh,
yeah."
Okay.
How much was a McGriddle back in that time? Because I got a McGriddle combo this morning, so I want to compare.
Fuck if I know.
At that.
So I got how much do you guys think a McGriddle with just a combo with a drink, nothing extra, no frills?
In this economy,
$9.
Jesus,
$9.
Fuck, we sound like
feel
old angry
meals
people.
have gone up. Like.
Everything's
the
going
other
up.
day, like I got Taco Bell, and it was like a small Taco Bell meal, and it was like $20 for 2 of us. I'm like, what the fuck happened?
You used to be out the door for the breakfast for like $5.
Yeah.
It was cheap because look how little food you get from a fast food joint for breakfast.
Yeah.
What the fuck? $20 for Taco Bell?
Yep.
This dude ordered the fucking King's menu over there.
The,
What'd you get? 11 tacos.
Quesadilla, their new steak egg or steak cheese.
You're on the steak egg. You're on the steak and egg right now.
Right? Was kind of, but their new steak grilled cheese burrito. Like I think each of them was like $5. And then like we grabbed the drinks, so those were like $3 a pop. And with tax, I was closing in on 20. I'm like,
Dude,
are you kidding me?
Everyone knows when you go to Taco Bell, you just get whatever box they have on sale. You
Crazy?
never get anything else. Was it? Yeah, that kind of weird box.
Quesadilla, cheesy gordita crunch.
Chicken quesadilla is not even that good. Like I respect as a baseline, it's good.
I've
right?
never had a quesadilla that was bad.
Oh God, I've never had a quesadilla.
Fucking fat ass.
That's just that was fucking
Can't
just.
fuck them up. They're so good.
That is a okay. Is that true? You know what? We're not doing this. I'm lactose intolerant. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm taking your word
you
at
have
it.
no opinion.
He's just
I've
never had a
never-
quesadilla.
I've
You've
never
never had
had
a quesadilla that was bad.
Quesadilla.
Quesadilla? That's
Quesadilla.
don't you appropriate my culture, first of all.
God damn it. Not a Mexican food, by the way. But that's so solid hangover food for sure.
Yeah.
And I am sorry that I've now made your drunk food chicken wings because Publix
That's
isn't
a
always
great drunk food.
Yeah,
What are you talking about?
I feel like it's always been my drunk food.
Publix chicken wings got voted #1 in like the southeastern United States.
Yeah, but I feel like-
chicken wings.
Those things are good.
Listen, shopping is a pleasure, and I promise you.
That's the second tagline you've hit from
Because
this episode.
I'm hashtag not a sponsor, but I swear to God, I will curse less if you call me.
We're not saying zero cursing.
I will
just-
curse less.
There's a less amount of cursing.
You might get a cleaned up version of this show. It'll
Consider
be
it.
Bourbon and Publix.
Bourbon and stuff.
I wear a smock.
No, I'll wear green here. Fucking my logo changes. There's a fucking P in the
I
background.
don't own green at all.
I don't. I own a lot of green. Hey, enough. David, because I realize we're going in a different direction. I'm really curious because Georgia,
Yeah.
what is your go-to, like you're drunk right now,
Man.
food? And you know what? There's going to be a second prong to it. Who might go back to?
Can I guess first?
Please.
Ooh.
What is
Please
this?
guess.
okay,
Because
okay.
you're going to guess wrong both
I
times.
feel like it's chicken and waffles with a cold burr.
Wrong.
Okay.
Cold beer.
I'm
First of
out.
all, you had two words. It's not cold burr. It's cold burr. It's one word. Cold burr.
It's still not
I'm working.
what word. It's a work in progress. My guess is tacos.
No.
What?
This is not. You're not nearly Georgia enough. You got to go way more Georgia than that.
I swear to God, if it's like grits, I'm gonna punch you.
No.
Okay.
All right. So the night of, you get your blitz, right? You need that food before you go back home, right?
Yeah.
You go to cookout. All right. You guys don't know what cookout is because you're in Florida.
Oh, I remember you kind of telling me about this.
I tried to drag you to one. You declined. Cookout is the single greatest fast food chain to have ever been existed. You can get for the price. It's a combo, right? Their dinner combo is a cheeseburger or spicy chicken sandwich and 2 quesadillas and a drink.
Okay.
$8. Yeah,
I have to see the size of them, but
they're
sounds
respectable.
promising.
They're respectable.
I love that Kevin's reaction was not, this is great. He's like, I need to judge this. Like, which
So
is
they
fair,
had-
because you're right.
So
That's
they
a
had a cookout
Ponzi
in my college town at Georgia Southern University, and that was definitely a frequented spot. And then the next morning, you guys, I'm sure, have heard of Waffle House. Obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to the Deep South enough to visit Huddle House?
I am way too dark to go into the deep south.
You are way too dark to go to a Huddle House. I'm gonna tell you that.
Is it that kind of huddle?
It's
Is it legal to be in a huddle house? That sounds a little sketchy.
Is it the huddle house where I have to be wearing all white?
like Huddle House is like, you know, Waffle Houses are closed for hurricanes.
Yeah.
Huddle House don't even do that. Like Huddle House just says fuck it.
Do they have?
I'm pretty
Is
sure
it-
it's the exact same company
Is
because it has the
Huddle-
same logo.
Does Huddle
Isn't that a
House?
term for a sex trafficking house?
Huddle House?
Yep. Sounds
Could be. I wouldn't want to. You don't
Wait.
want to have sex in a Huddle House. Let me
What?
tell you this outright.
Wait, now I want to look it up.
No, I'm not.
I
I
thought
was
you-
not being serious. I'm just the name sounded,
Okay, I was like,
sounded strange enough.
If you ever pull into the parking lot of a Huddle House and there's like not a fat dude out front smoking a cigarette who's going to cook your food, you don't want to go in
That's
because
why
that
you don't-
motherfucker can't cook.
if you ever walk into a Waffle House and that person does not look like they have 3 children and they're stressed out their mind,
Yeah,
and
just
it's
walk
like,
on
this,
out.
this job ain't shit.
Just
Like,
walk on out.
I want the person with clinical depression cooking my waffles.
I want insane food.
That's really fucked up. Like,
I need your life to fucking suck if you're going to cook my food in a Waffle House.
I need the food to be as good as country music is when your heart is broken.
Bro,
That's a
very
that was
yeah.
whoa.
touching.
That just hit me on a real unique level. I didn't know you were going to do that to me just then.
there's also the weird thing of you listening to country.
Yeah, that does not.
I listen to everything. Yeah, I do. I really do. You don't. We're not going to go there. We still have this drunk food to talk about. We will talk about music. What soundtrack
So you
of my
like
life.
country music? Name every artist.
That's not how that works. Like, I hate when people do that. All right. So Huddle House is your. I'm currently intoxicated. I need to know what the recovery food is.
Gatorade.
Just Gatorade?
Actually,
what
fuck
flavor?
Gatorade. Powerade. Blue.
Respectable.
Yeah, see.
Blue Powerade is the whole meal.
I'm a big orange Gatorade fan for
I like orange.
I refuse to drink Gatorade. On principle.
Oh, because you're Florida Gators thing. I think fuck. I'm like, why?
Powerade only. Gatorade is for losers and has-beens.
I'm a
just gonna say you said Gatorade first thing out.
Yeah,
so.
thank you.
Well,
He
I
said
did
Gatorade
because I've had 11 fucking glasses of whiskey.
Yeah, so we know what the truth is. So.
Side note:
Move
can we
on.
try this glass? We've just been staring at it.
Let me finish.
I don't know who cares about your drunk
One last thing. Yes, we do. Because mine's
Rice and
uniquely,
beans.
he actually prepared me. So I am currently drunk, especially when I was younger. My currently drunk food is a spicy chicken sandwich from Wendy's. So to give you a little bit of background on that, I prided myself on I don't want to get arrested, which is good for dark people. We don't want to get arrested.
It's kind of good for everyone. But go on.
There's a good baseline
I'm
there.
just saying in general. Listen, what I'm focusing
What
on
the
is
hell are you doing with the spicy chicken sandwich?
so I'm going to get there. Inappropriate. So what I would always do is I would leave downtown, like after a night of drinking and debauchery, whatever. Clubs let out at 2:30, whatever.
Is this in NY or here?
Anywhere.
Okay.
Anywhere. If I know what time clubs get out, I leave an hour before or 30 minutes before on purpose.
Yeah, you don't want to be their last call.
I don't want to be
Ooh.
I don't want to be their last call because one, it's not good.
No.
Nothing turns out
Nothing
well
good
for
happens at
anyone.
last call.
You don't want to be there when the lights get turned on.
No, I don't want to see any of that. I don't want to see the floor I was stepping on. I don't want to see the people I was dancing with. I don't want to see the cops that are waiting in the corner watching who's been the drunkest.
I don't want to see the girl I was talking to.
I don't want to
Honestly,
see any
the
of
dim
that.
lights kind of make it better.
Look, I'm sure there's more than one time the lights went on and a girl looked at me. Ooh. Oh God!
Reverse course.
What is going on with him? But my point is, I'm trying to avoid as many problems as possible. So I always leave early, and I always go to the same exact Wendy's when I was younger. I would go to the one there, like right off of University. As I get out 408, whatever, go to the exact same one and get a spicy chicken sandwich, spicy nuggets when they came out, and fries.
Wendy's
And-
fries are weak.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. But the spicy chicken sandwich is good. I'm not making a second stop. I'm drunk.
Just don't get the fries at all.
Yeah, but I can't do that.
Yes,
I'm
you can.
drunken me is not thinking. I ordered the meal. We're not doing that. My point is that is my go-to meal with a cherry Coke.
Oh, see, that's where you did it. That's where you did it right.
Yeah, a cherry Coke. For some reason, drunk me overly appreciates a cherry Coke. It becomes the nectar of the fucking gods. It becomes ambrosia. It becomes everything I've ever wanted.
This guy
out
said
of a beverage.
ambrosia.
I'm so drunk. I need the sweetest goddamn thing to
I
break
could-
through.
Exactly. I find the worst thing for you. What has the emotion? Which I want the one in the parentheses that says diabetes. I want that.
Where's Alfred Brimley when you need him?
Like, my name's
I
Alfred.
get packets of sugar with that.
Pour 13 sugars on me.
Pour Splenda down my throat.
But that was always my go-to. Like more often, the joke I always make is I more often in my 20s woke up next to a Wendy's wrapper than I did a random woman. Like I would wake up in bed. It's like
You've
there's
had such a good life.
food. This is great. Wake up at 6 a.m, still hungover. Oh, I'm just gonna eat this.
Did you ever wake up next to alcohol you didn't know was alcohol?
Yes.
You ever take that nice, like... So
I thought
woke up,
I thought it was melted
water.
ice water.
I thought it was water, and it was just vodka.
Mm-hmm.
And I took that nice, deep, oh, thank God, that drunk me thought about, hungover me.
Have you ever thought that drunk use a dick? Like drunk use did
Drunk
it on
me's a
purpose?
different person. I'm not associated with him. He's a fucking asshole.
I feel like you asked that question a little too much. Like, yeah, that's normal. For
Yeah, that's absolutely the case. Because drunk me left a goddamn full container of vodka next to me, and I woke up and I was like, "Oh,
I'm trying to imagine the
Thanks,
mindset.
drunk
Like,
me.
usually, if you're drunk, you're like, oh, I just got to make it to bed. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not taking my shoes off. I'm just falling into bed. And you're like,
Yeah.
nope. Let's prepare tomorrow morning with a
Yeah.
nice glass of vodka.
with a nice vodka, we mixed with vodka.
Drunk
Georgia
you.
boys are different.
we build different, boy.
I don't know if different is
We
better.
don't fuck around here in Georgia.
Especially in this context, different isn't better.
Most people lay out their clothes. This guy's laying out a glass of vodka.
Yeah,
I'm
don't
proud
worry about it.
I'm proud of you. If I can hair the dog to full effect. And then recovery meal is exactly what got ordered. Domino's with any kind of like ginger ale. And I have a bunch of ginger
The
ale.
next day, you ordered Domino's?
So this is the fucking fat boy me back in the day. If I did not get Wendy's, I would order Domino's in advance to be
what I'm
delivered,
talking
so
about.
I would get to the house at the same time the delivery guy would. I would slide him whatever cash I had on me, and I would just walk in past him. Like, there were times that we pulled up together.
4D chess right here.
And
Homie. I love it.
And I'm just like, what's up, man? And like to the point that I started getting to know our driver. His name was Justice. He had a Mazda Miata, and he was cool as shit. We would just pull up together. He's like, "You drunk again, huh?" I was like, "Yeah."
Listen, Justice, you drive a Miata. You shut your fucking
He
mouth.
was he was a nice kid.
There's a listener named Mark who's like, my name's Mark, not Justice. I drove an Accord, not a Miata.
My name
Asshole doesn't even remember me.
Oh, my version of him was way cooler than the Accord. But
Who missed the name Justice?
I wanted.
He's like, I deserve this pizza. Thanks, Justice.
He didn't correct you because they weren't a $3 tip. You slid him.
Oh, I overtipped. I always overtipped. When I was drunk, I would always.
I was too broke to overtip.
I
don't
would
know what
always.
life
That's
is
my
about.
dump. I was broke because I overtipped. I would wake up the next day like, what the fuck did I spend money on? I was like, I gave.
That's the worst feeling. That was the worst. Was waking up and trying to like tally your bills for the night.
So
Domino's, that's still your drunk meal. What's
Yeah.
your recovery meal?
no, but that's the thing. I would only like. It would go to the microwave damn near instantly and just sit there and be like the next morning. The cold
whole
pizza.
thing?
Wait, you
didn't break
planned?
into it?
I would eat like 2 slices maybe.
Okay.
And if that, and like there were times, even me and my significant other right now, we would eat like something downtown and say, tomorrow I don't want to wake up early. And we would order the food to purposely eat cold pizza the next morning. And that was our pre-planned drunk
So this
recovery
is how I know
meal.
I'm not good at planning because you guys are drunk thinking about tomorrow. I'm
Yeah.
just thinking
It
about
is- it
tonight.
is-
You
me.
guys know what drunk means. If,
I-
you,
Yeah.
if you have the wherewithal to do that,
No,
I promise you,
No.
this is a thing with us.
or you're an expert at being drunk.
Once again, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. The show is based on the fact that I drink a lot. Straight up, you've been with me downtown. You know I'm an expert at drinking.
I've never seen you get like toasted or anything. We've been down a couple of times too, and we've had a fair amount.
Kevin, in the years and years of you know me, how many times have you seen me to the point where you had to carry me or I was so gone?
And
I
could
don't think I
you?
ever carried you.
But you ever seen me to the
Could
point
you
where
ever
I could,
have
yeah,
carried him?
I was lighter at some point. But you've never seen me drunk.
No, yeah, I don't think you were ever that gone.
It was always damn near fucking a routine in my head. I planned for the next morning. I didn't want to get up. So I would eat something early or eat something on my way. And if I didn't get Domino's, I would get Wendy's. And the morning would be whatever I was left next to me on the pillow. It's like, well, it was on a towel because I don't want to fuck up my bed. That leaves stains and you get bugs.
I see. This is again. We're calling the drunkenness into question here. You're making decisions that have long-term consequences here. Those aren't drunk behaviors. my
Those
friend.
No,
are
no,
dr-
they are. That term's called functional alcoholic.
There we go.
Is that what that is? Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
That was a thing, and we will get to that in episode 68. Stay tuned for episode 68. All that to say, we are at our third pour.
I'll listen to that episode
I'm
after
so
that.
happy that we got here. For our third pour is going to be Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel. Pretty unique bottle. It is from the Heaven Hill Distillery, which if you haven't gone to, their landscaping isn't as good as Maker's Mark, but I still enjoyed their distillery. So if you've never had this, really good. It's only, what is this? It's 94 proof. Still on the lighter side of some of the heat that we have drank today. Lighter than Baumburgers, which still love the name because it makes me feel like I'm ordering a hamburger. So do you guys know the difference between toasted barrel and a regular cooked barrel?
Yeah, bro. One of the barrels is toasted
Toasted how?
with toast.
I will fight you. Like, do you mean... what do you mean by
Bro, I don't
toast?
fucking know. I'm just giving you. I've had 38 glasses of whiskey tonight. I'm good.
Kevin?
I don't know.
So it's just a lighter char, and it's left there a little bit less time. So casual whiskey fans will know, according to U.S. law, whiskey must mature in an oak barrel and call itself whiskey. Whiskey enthusiasts, blah, blah, blah. Everyone who's listening, I know you're pissed off. A process by which copper fires the barrel with literal flames for a minute. So the burn deepens the char level. Toasted, much less time. So it's not having
So
as...
less char.
Less char. And it's so with less char, you get a much lighter flavor as opposed to something like a stag or something really heavy and deep. So Toasted Barrel has become one of those kind of newer raves. Like you get mixers, toasted. A lot of people like that lighter flavor. So people who don't necessarily like that deep fucking smoky taste, they still get to enjoy the whiskey without all that extra flavor.
Whose dick did Kevin suck to get the good coaster?
Everyone got the same coaster.
No, look, he's got his coaster.
Oh, you mean
has
the
a
one
lip.
that he took from me? Like,
Yeah, what is that?
I believe it was handed to me.
He's got a coaster with a lip on it and everything.
can we focus on this? So we're going to pour this up. We're going to drink this. We already poured
already
it
poured.
because time's a wasting. Cheers.
Cheers, cheers, cheers. Get those demons out.
There's at least 2 in here.
Yep, that moves to the top.
Wow.
Wow, really?
Yep.
That was, yeah, I 1000% agree.
Wow.
No scent, though. I can't smell a damn thing off this glass.
To be fair, there's a thing of mints there, too.
Tell me, am I wrong? And maybe, my nose might be a little stopped up or something, but I can't get any scent.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, there it is. Had to snuck past some snot.
Yeah, this is a good like a good line through of what I like in a bourbon.
This is good in its simplicity.
Yeah,
It's just a nice, simple bourbon. No weird, no extras to it. No frills.
Yeah, I don't like super fruity. I don't like super smoky, but I usually like somewhat smoky.
Yeah.
Apparently, toasted is good enough.
So, and that's what's so. Someone's gonna fucking write me in. But a lot of the whiskey nerds have been leaning towards this because it's much more of a casual. Like this is more easier to sip. You can enjoy this throughout the night. You're not fucking worried about some heavy, overpowering flavors, and you're able to just not have to switch to anything else. So, the char is from 40 to 60-second burn of the interior of the barrel is a toast. That's how fast as they burn it, and that's it.
Less than a minute?
Less than a minute. It has to be less than a minute char.
Yeah, I like a lot of the smoky ones, but I do like this one. I like the flavor.
Yeah, it's supposed to be where someone will argue with you that a heavier char is distracting, where you don't get a lot of what makes the whiskey's mash bill and everything special. You get to enjoy that a little bit more in this. So good. I do really like it.
Yeah.
Jumps
Where
right
do you
to
typically? So you're more experienced with whiskey than I am. Where do you sit on the char discussion?
something that's too smoky is distracting. It's so we tried the
It'll overwhelm most
Yeah.
of the other flavors.
Yeah, exactly. So all you're tasting is smoke. It feels like you're drinking campfire, which in almost like a fucking
If it's
a
too
novelty.
smoky, yeah.
If
It
it's
just
not-
feels like ash from a
Yeah.
campfire.
Yeah, if it's novelty, it's cool once in a while, but it's not something I'm going to enjoy all the time. You almost bring it out to like, hey, you really want to taste something weird? It fucking becomes like, you guys want to see a dead body?
It's like the peanut butter whiskey. Like it's
Yeah.
good, but it's not something you just sit back on all the time.
Yeah, I don't want to fucking drink that throughout the day. This feels like if I'm not careful, I'll drink a bottle in a sitting.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
this Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel is not bad at all. I'm fucking.
What's the bottle cost on this?
If you can find it, it's about a $57 bottle.
Is it rare?
Yes, and it's
So far, this is the cheapest of the three. It's my favorite of the three.
yes. So of the three, for anyone who did not know, that the Woodford Reserve is retail around 150, 139 to 150, depending on where you get it. The Bomberg is 97 to 119, depending on where you get it. Elijah Craig Toasted, anywhere between $57 and $70 wherever you get it. And so far, the best one. And
Enjoy it.
I'm not going to lie to you, though. I really enjoyed the uniqueness of the Woodford, but this is something I could drink all day.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. This is, hey, I'm just going to go game with the boys and the girls, because we have a lot of female gamers in our group. Shouts to Bella and Suwasha and Mel.
Isolated drinking the other flavors, I do notice that while they might be good, it'd be some effort to continue to drink some of those.
Mm-hmm.
They'd be
Especially
nice to
the
start the
Woodford.
night on.
The Woodford was, had enough kick that that'd be some work to keep drinking it.
Which is funny because so far, I think technically that's the lowest proof.
Yeah,
But when we got to the second pour of that one, I just had to hit the last little pour of it just to get it gone so I could move on to something else. I think that would really wear on you after you're drinking a couple glasses.
yeah, from my memory, the Woodford hit the front of your tongue, where the
Toasted.
toasted is pretty smooth all around. What was the second one?
Bombergers.
The Bomberger. That one kind of just hit
Bombergers.
you in the back of the throat a little bit, but it wasn't bad.
You know what that feels like.
You were there.
Oh, fucking these vibes. For anyone who's listening, we do not necessarily condone any of Gadaday's.
It's not my fault he's taking throat shots, man.
Oh, that is terrible. But honestly, really, really good. So interesting that it jumps to this. So now that we are at our third pour, we're going to get a little random with some of our stories, and hopefully you guys enjoy the path that we go down in. So,
Nice.
next one.
I was waiting.
I was
sit
waiting.
down and
Nice. That's why I stopped.
He said,
served a softball.
"Go down."
Oh, I
in."
was such a soft. So next question is surprise, motherfucker. What's one thing that people are generally surprised to find out about you, and why? Give us a little bit of a backstory. We're going to start with Dave.
Oh, with me.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about facts about ourselves that are true.
100% true. This
that
is not
people
a.
are just kind of surprised on.
We pride ourselves in
Okay.
integrity here.
So this
at
is
Bourbon and
well,
Bullshit.
I don't lie. First of all, I'm practically George Washington.
He lied a lot.
He
We're not
probably
doing
did.
that. We're
He
not
probably did. So this is something that I think we've probably discussed together, but something that people still don't know a lot about me is that I play 5 instruments.
Oh yeah, you did tell me that.
Yeah, see? It's
Okay.
just not something you would think, because I definitely give off dude bro energy, as one of my friends likes to call it, all the time and constantly.
Shouts to Sriracha.
I don't think anyone argues against it, but what are the 5 instruments?
So I was in... God.
This motherfucker
So-
got frustrated telling us a story.
Because I'm already annoyed
why?
at the instrument, because I play really lame instruments. So-
all right, we're gonna stop you there because
Swear
first
to
of all,
God, you say the kazoo, you're out.
all right, as long as not well, if the harmonica, if it's fucking played well,
I
okay.
would like to play
yeah,
it.
I was gonna say, I was gonna shit on the harmonica that I regretted.
Yeah,
I was like,
kazoo's
no.
pretty much the one you can make fun of.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Impressive.
Yeah.
What I'm getting at is you play 5 more instruments than I play.
Oh, yeah.
So relax. Don't say
No,
they're
no, no,
lame.
no. I'm not.
Being able to learn how to play an instrument is still
That's
fucking
true.
impressive.
It's fascinating. And
So,
honestly,
so don't do
learning-
the negative talk, self-talk. I'm here to shit on you, not
Fine.
you.
All right, fine. No shitting on myself. All the shit comes from the other
That's our
directions.
job.
That's
All
our
right, you
job.
guys go right ahead. All right, so I grew up in a small town, and so you have to wear, as a kid in a small town with schools that offer a lot of extracurriculars, you have to wear a lot of hats. So it's a bit strange because I'm not the world's greatest athlete. I'm not particularly an impressive physical specimen, but I still give off the apparition of someone who plays a lot of sports. And I did when I was in high school. But I was also in band. So I learned how to play the trumpet, the trombone, the tuba, and the baritone. And then in my own time, I learned how to play the drums. And I was actually in a band as a drummer.
What was the name of the band?
It was a church band.
I wanted to.
You learned in your own time to play in the church.
I wanted it to be that Christian rock band that we talked about. To hell with the devil.
was. Striper?
Striper.
We were nowhere near that hard. Striper's so good.
All right.
So, did you get invited to the church band and then learn drums, or what was the order of that?
So it was essentially my family started going to a new church, and this new church had a functioning and operational band, and I was always interested in learning the drums, so I started kind of learning from the drummer who was at the church at the time, and they wanted to start a youth band at that same time. So I learned and joined the youth band. to do that.
So let me get this straight. You know what? Let's rank this. Which one do you think is the best instrument you learned? Like you're like
The one that I enjoyed the most?
yeah, enjoyed.
Oh, the
most.
drums.
All right, the one you learned on your own at the end.
Yeah. Because I already knew
Which
like,
one was your least favorite instrument?
tuba.
I fucking knew it.
It's just because it was boring.
'Cause
Because you
it's-
just play
seems
do,
like it'd be-
do.
Yeah, I was gonna say tuba seems like it's fucking 3 notes.
Yeah, because I was
And-
forced into it. Because
And you have to carry it. That they're looking for the biggest dude on the field.
That's 100% what
Right.
it was. There's like, hey, that's a dude who's in our band who is somewhat athletic. Again, I am not edifying myself. I am not some impressive physical specimen, but I am able-bodied.
Yes.
And they're just like,
You
give
can-
him the big thing.
He can carry the tuba.
Yes.
Let's teach him the tuba.
Correct.
So
that's how that
I'm
played
a,
out.
I'm a bit ignorant in this field.
Yeah.
The tuba, the trumpet, what were the other ones?
Tuba, trumpet, baritone, and
Trombone.
trombone. Yeah.
So are they like largely the same? They just got different notes.
Some
Like you're,
yes,
you're blowing
yes
and,
and
just
no.
holding
So
one or
the
two.
the tuba,
notes?
the trumpet, and the baritone, they all are valve instruments, while the trombone is a slide instrument.
Okay.
So they have, it's called finger positions, right? They have
What?
You fucking asked, okay? So, one of them, so the trombone and the baritone are bass clef, and then the trumpet and the the tuba is also bass clef. Sorry, so the trumpet's the only treble clef one there is. So I would essentially play the same finger positions, but because some of them were bass clef and others were treble clef, the names of the notes would be titled differently, and then the instruments themselves, because they were tuned a little differently, the music that you would read would be a little bit different. So, for instance, on the tuba, do you read music at all?
Not at all.
Okay, so essentially the tuba produces like the lowest sound. So its music is its notes are like 4 lines below the actual traditional music. Are you looking at it?
Yeah, so these are all wind instruments, it says, and brass instruments. So it says trombone, trumpet, the brass horn, and tuba should all be played around the same kind of like same classification. But you could have also picked a saxophone.
Saxophone is nowhere near the same.
Just telling you, it's in the same wind instrument type of thing.
It's in the same picture on the internet that you found, yes.
Yeah, I'm just looking. Hey, look, man, I'm just filling you in on the short.
Saxophone isn't even brass. You'd have to have an entirely different embouchure. You play it by blowing a reed against.
I'm not doubting you. I just want the information. I'm curious.
I'm here to inform you.
I love the fact that you learned all those things. Yeah, we'll go on Wiki and update it today.
All right, go make sure Wiki knows.
So, if you had to go back, which one would you send them? Other than the drums, would you have subbed out tuba for another instrument you wish you learned?
No.
Really?
No,
you would have learned the piano. You wouldn't have learned anything. You would have just.
They didn't offer the piano then.
I'm in this hypothetical
situation. No, I'm still pretty happy with the things that I learned. Like I learned like a lot of information. I learned how to read music. I learned how to translate the music. I mean, now this is something I did 15 years ago at this point in my life now, but I mean, I'm pretty proficient at reading, understanding the music.
Yeah, I was going to ask you next. I was like, you could read music like that?
Yeah.
That's really badass. I don't know why you're like, oh, bro.
It's not the fact that I read music. It's the instruments that I play. They're not particularly cool instruments. Like, I didn't say the electric guitar.
Yeah, you're not going to like go onto like open mic night and just pull out the tuba. I get it.
Correct.
And if you did, you might get more cheers than you expect, actually. Like someone's like,
I didn't have to own a tuba, first of all.
Those are expensive, aren't they?
Yeah, several thousands of dollars for just an entry level one.
Mm.
Those classical instruments, dude, they are insanely expensive.
While we're on the topic, Kev, do you know any instruments? Before I ask you the next one?
No, not really, no.
If you had one instrument you could learn.
Skid flute.
I might just go with the piano just because I feel like it's the most useful. Like you could pull it out more often.
Perfect.
Nice.
Maybe the guitar would take a close second.
Okay.
I literally bought a guitar with the plan of learning it, but never did.
If I were to add another instrument to my repertoire, I'd add a guitar. For sure.
I am the weird big kid. I wanted to get super stacked and then show up to parties and pull out a violin or a fiddle and just play the shit out of that. I think it's so cool when you see someone playing a random fiddle, blah, 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 like all those like those electric guitars. We went to a concert. I made Kevin, his significant other, my girlfriend, go to a Lindsey Sterling concert. Even though Kevin,
that sounds very cool, actually.
It was a lot of fun. I liked it.
I liked her.
But people always looked at me funny when I was like, "Oh, I love violin," and they're like, "What?"
Okay, you're living with that.
I'm like, I fucking love the violin. The violin's fantastic. It's really enjoyable. And if my big ass could, I would learn the violin.
Now, Lindsey Sterling, just to clarify, she's the semi-popular lady on the internet that like does dances and little elaborateness when she's playing violin.
It's a fucking experience.
There's a lot of like electric house-esque music.
That's pretty cool.
There's one of her most famous like runs is Crystallize.
Yeah,
that's one of them.
I think that was the thing that put her on the charts.
Yeah, she did this whole fucking video like an ice.
Yeah, I think I remember showing you that song at my house.
Yeah, and I was like,
this is like some good music to listen to while you're working. Like,
yeah, you showed it to me, and I was like, I've heard this song before, and never seen the video.
Yeah,
and I could not find it because this was before Shazam, where you could just fucking hold up a phone to something. You had to like, hey, what's
back
this?
In the olden days?
What's this song? Like, what's it? And no one knows what the fuck it. Yeah. What is this? Yeah. So Lindsey Sterling. All right, so piano and guitar. All right, good shit, man. That's actually really interesting. I knew that. But I did not know that you only learn drums to be part of Stryper.
Dude, if it would have been Stryper,
the Christian rock,
that would have been so cool. Whoever's listening to this right now,
devil.
If you have not heard the song "To Hell with the Devil," just pause us. We don't matter. All right, bring it to Spotify.
Leave the 5-star review first.
Leave the 5-star review. Listen to them on Spotify. "To Hell with the Devil," and just let your hair rock rule.
Oh my god.
It is genuinely
if you're
fantastic.
bald like me, order a wig and just let it go. Just let it go.
It's so good.
All right. So, Kevin, Kevin, anything anyone would be surprised to know about you?
I don't think really anything that's super story worthy. Although you mentioned you found this interesting, I didn't. I actually do have a black belt in Taekwondo. I went, I think, 5.5, 6 years when I was younger doing that. Went to the Junior Olympics. So yeah, and quick aside, all my belts except for my black belt, which I kept, is now owned by Arthur.
We're gonna do this.
Can you get him out?
Oh,
Can we each wear one of his belts the rest of the night?
One of Arthur's favorite pastimes when he was at my old house was like, "Hey, that's interesting." I'm like, "Do you want it?" And he would say yes to everything. And
I had a garage of 7 doors, interior doors.
Like
why?
For no reason.
Just random times he'd be over and he's like, "My router's broken," and like we'd be randomly walking through the garage and I would stop and look to my left. I'm like, "That's an extra router. Do you want it?" He'd be like, "Yeah." And so, like, half his house is basically my old house.
Not now, but at some point, yes.
Yes.
I am an adult now.
Well, someone came
Allegedly.
in and made improvements to your house.
Shut up. Yeah, I got my life together. Listen.
We think every day for her.
You got someone who got your life together.
All right, so we will go down that path a different day because I want to leave people wanting more. But that's a really funny story. No, but yeah, the reason why I thought it was impressive, thought it was interesting, people would be surprised, is because for the most part, in our friendship, I am probably seen as probably the most hot-tempered of the two, the most like, hey, violent. But yes, martial arts, she trains that kind of like control and kind of, being aware and all that. But if you had to think of us together, you would probably think that I would be the more dangerous of the two. And meanwhile, Kevin could probably kick someone in the face and crack their skull. I've
never thought of you two together. But.
All the time.
Okay.
You made this awkward for everyone. I love that. But no, that's why I thought it was interesting, because for the most part, if you meet Kevin in real life, he's just real calm, collective, and chill, and seems like I don't want no problems. Meanwhile, he's like, if you want problems, it's all right, that's fine. So that's why I thought it was interesting. For the one thing, not one thing, because there's plenty of fucking random stupid shit, like I can't ride a bike, I can't swim, shit like that people are like, what the fuck?
That's just stereotypical shit.
That's racist. When people are like, oh, that makes sense. Excuse me?
I've gotten to the beach like 4 or 5 times, and
I survived.
He just refuses.
It's not refusing. I don't want to die.
Like, stop fighting it. I know you know how to swim.
Just throw him in. He'll figure
stop
it out.
purposely trying to drown to prove the stereotype.
I'm just standing there under the water. I'm dying.
I'm like, you're gonna kill yourself just trying to be stubborn.
Oh God! You know what?
Is there any more of an Arthur way to die?
You know what? Probably not. I am a pretty stubborn guy. No, the thing that people look at me funny about whenever I tell them the story is that I was part of the Glee Club, chorus, and church choir.
I'm so happy
up.
you're talking about this.
And
I
thought you were going to go with the books, but okay.
I'm not doing that today. We have plenty of episodes coming up. But the reason this funny is because obviously I can't sing now because you're out of practice. That's not something you just let go and then randomly pick back up. Even though I can for some notes, but I'm not as trained.
If you were talented, you could.
Yeah, of course, but I'm not. So this is the problem. The funny story behind it is that as a young boy, as a nerd, as a kid that didn't know better and didn't know how to have social interactions with people, my music teacher, Miss Pantelis, or some weird name.
Oh, that's a name.
Yeah, her first name was Miss Neighbors, then got married and became Miss Pantelis. Shouts to her. She was cool as hell. You're not listening to this.
How do you know?
Maybe.
She may follow you from afar. Just rooting for you.
I remember that little weird kid.
Imagine her sipping on some bourbon, smoking a cigar right now.
Yeah, she's like, this is my favorite student. That would make my fucking day.
If Miss Pantelis,
Mr. Gordon, and a bunch of these teachers I had growing up randomly like, you were my favorite student, I drink to your podcast, I fucking would make my day. So, whatever. We're in I was like 12 or 13, and she's holding music chorus or Glee Club tryouts. Every music class for that day, for every class that she went to, she was holding tryouts. And one girl that I had the biggest crush on, I think her name was like Vanessa or something. It doesn't matter. Because
You had a crush on her.
I had a crush on her.
Okay.
And I did not know how to talk to this girl because I'm a young, awkward kid with fucking thick bottle cap glasses.
And dreads.
No, at that point, no.
No?
No, my mom dressed me. I wore
What was the hair situation?
all shaved. Everything was shaved. My mom wanted me to look fucking straight and narrow at all times. And then the moment I had options, fucking a
Dreads.
mess. Yeah.
Straight dreads.
Straight to like braids and shit. But
I'm kind of picturing Manny from Modern Family.
almost exactly, except I had glasses. I had glasses. I was a little less thick than Manny. But shouts to Manny. Cheers to Manny. I'm going to drink for that. But I went up front and had, and she's like, Arthur? She like stared at me. I was like, yeah, I'm going to try it. Because fuck it, I'm going to try it. I have to do something. And I hit every note she asked me to. And she was fucking like, what the fuck? This kid who's never once expressed interest in music wants to do this. I did it. The girl dropped out of it, and I ended up loving it. They took us I enjoyed the music, enjoyed the songs. We were doing like Aladdin music. We were doing a bunch of like Christmas songs. We were doing just random shit, and we were like damn near touring. So I got to see Phantom of the Opera for free, Cats for free, multiple trips to like the Statue of Liberty because at the time I lived in New York. All these random things. It was a hell of an experience, and I just kept getting better. Get to junior high school, I joined chorus. Obviously, you go through puberty, your voice changes, and music teachers, I'm like, oh, they're going to drop me because my voice isn't as high as it used to be. And he's like, oh, hell no, come over here. It was like a tenor, I don't know, somewhere in the middle. It was like, I think it was tenor,
baritone's a low. Baritone's a low.
So I could hit that, but it was more my voice range could stay within the middle of the tone.
Probably, yeah, tenor.
Tenor. And he's like, okay, you could hit the notes I need you to, and you could fluctuate, so I'm going to keep you here. I was like, I bet. And I enjoyed it so fucking much. I don't know why. It felt relieving. It felt calm. It felt great. That girl was long gone. Never
Did she
saw
quit
her
because
again.
you hated your singing voice?
Maybe. I didn't ask her because once I got into it, she didn't matter. It was really cool because I loved it so much. I didn't even want to talk to her. It's like she would be like, oh, blah, blah. I was like, I don't care. I was enjoying it so much. The process, everything, getting better and hitting notes and learning the craft and all that became really cool. And I say all that to tell you the stupidest fucking reason I quit. We were at we were like auditorium, and we were watching a movie, and we had to go to practice. And I said, I don't want to go because I want to finish this movie.
Fucking AI over here.
You know what the movie was?
If it's Fast and Furious, I'll slap.
I swear to God, it wasn't.
Please be.
It was Mortal Kombat.
The OG?
The OG Mortal Kombat. And I was too broke to have seen it in real life. So when they played it at school,
Real life. First
Like,
of all,
you know,
they
well,
played Mortal Kombat
What class were
in
you
school.
playing?
it was in attendance. It was in attendance, an auditorium. We had like a random auditorium. They were playing a movie and they were playing Mortal Kombat.
What?
Yes.
What?
Now that would be unacceptable because of all the killings.
Oh, the new one rocked, by the way.
Maybe now, even then. that
No,
was
I promise. I swear on everything I love. We were watching Mortal Kombat at the auditorium. I don't remember what went on, but they were saying, this is what we're going to do for the next couple hours. I don't know if something was wrong with the school, but at IS 143,
Dog.
I was watching Mortal Kombat.
Imagine the fucked up shit happening at your school where they're like, yeah, just put on Mortal Kombat. It's fine. It's
And
fine.
I was watching it, and I was so, like, I was a huge fan of the video game. I'm like, I never got to see this movie when it was in the theater because my mom would never fucking let me go, and I was too broke to try to sneak in my own. And because you have to pay someone to buy you a ticket because you're not 18. Hood mentality. So my music teacher's like, hey, we got practice, and he's getting everyone together. He's like, Arthur, you got to go. I was like, I quit. He's like, what? I was like, I want to watch this movie. I don't want to go. He's like, are you serious right now? I was like, you have a good rest of your day.
When game is life right there.
And I watched this movie.
So one practice, you couldn't like go back?
I
would hate Allen Iverson.
I didn't think of it. I was so focused. It was the stupidest fucking thing in my life.
You were just in your mind. It was done.
It was in my mind. I was like, if I miss a practice, I'm done. Because I don't miss practices. I don't miss classes. I was like perfect attendance kid. And in my mind, if you fuck it up, in my mind at that time, obviously I'm old. My mind at that time, if you miss one, you're done. Like,
Gotcha.
and I was like, I'm done. I missed one. I can't go again. And he was also as equally pissed that I wanted to miss practice so I could watch the movie. So I'm sure he didn't want me back. Fucking stopped doing something I enjoyed for Mortal Kombat.
Speaking of Mortal Kombat, you trying to get that new one?
Maybe, but
It does look good.
But here's the kicker. Later on in my life, I rewatched the movie,
It's trash.
and I was like, that was not worth me missing out on all the other shit I could have gained from it.
It was unbelievably good when we were in the subject age range. But I actually really enjoyed the new Mortal Kombat movie. That was pretty fun.
Wait, which one?
The new one that just came out like 2 years
No,
ago.
you didn't like that one.
I enjoyed it.
Okay.
For what it was, I didn't expect a cinematic masterpiece out of it.
Kevin, did you watch that one? Because before
I did.
What are your
It's
senses?
okay. It wasn't bad.
What was your?
It wasn't great.
There we go.
I feel like the first one
Yeah,
at the time.
it's a
was
6 or a 7 out of 10. I'm not saying it's like a literary. It's not wonderful.
So what did? So I enjoyed the movie, but it felt like a bait and switch.
With Cole pretty much taking the place of Luke Cage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fucking hate that character.
Yeah, did not like that character, but how often do video games get treated to good movies? Very rarely, if ever.
The original Super Mario with John Leguizamo was great.
Actually, the Mario movie is an exception to this. The new one, not the shit one.
The Sonic movie was good.
That one also is an exception. There are a few exceptions, right?
Okay.
But like that's the best we're ever going to get with Mortal Kombat, dog. Like you just got to accept that. You're not going to get much better than that with Mortal Kombat. Yeah. So respect it and enjoy it for what it is. It's just mindless fun.
It's been a while since I watched the first one, but it's still in my mind like feels like a good movie.
It's worse than you remember. Like let it be
it
was in your head.
To be fair, 95% of the movies that we think of when we were a kid, there's a nostalgic factor that we have to take into
100%.
consideration, and we have to go into understanding that graphics,
That's why I
sound,
refuse
everything
to watch Five Goes West again.
weren't what? Five Goes West. Why would that be that's the one you think of?
That wasn't one of the quintessential movies of your childhood. That's fantastic. That you have nothing but positive experiences or memories from. And you don't want to watch it again and fuck it up for yourself.
We are about to go into a new question.
Acts like a dog.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just positive.
No,
just positive.
You know what? Fine.
I thought we did.
New question. I will rephrase the question we had. It's called "You Got a Friend in Me," based on Toy Story and all that. What is the childhood movie, other than Five Goes West, childhood movie that resonated with you the most, and whatever the fuck it meant for you, and why did you love it so fucking much? As you're thinking of that, I'm pretty sure he wants to talk about one. Do you have one in your head?
No, I've got it. You just took mine away. I had one.
Except for Five Goes West.
Now I got to think of another one.
All right.
Law-abiding citizen.
What?
What a fucking...
I said childhood. Gerard Butler.
Formative years. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh my god.
Was that
I was
Titanic?
hoping for like a children's movie. How about that? Children's movie.
I
Aladdin.
don't know if I like. I mean, there were definitely movies I enjoyed. Like Aladdin had one of the best soundtracks.
Yeah, I must have watched Aladdin 100 times when I was a
It's
kid.
a great movie. But I don't know if like there was one that was like
Fucking Star
standing
Wars.
out or was me.
Star Wars.
Aladdin or Lion King. Greater son.
Ooh, that's tough. Aladdin works better as a kid, but Lion King hits better as an adult.
I'm still going for Aladdin.
All right. You know what's wrong? Where it resonated with me the most? A Goofy movie.
That was a good movie.
A Goofy movie.
It's not bad. I watched it pretty recently.
But this is why. As I got older, I started.
The Juice.
Ooh, like I fucking Pauly Shore. Power line.
The leaning tower of cheese.
Cheese. Also, I'm lactose intolerant, but they make cheese seem
Looks
so
so
fucking good in his
There's
animation.
no right to look that good in that movie. Fuck them.
But as you get older, Goofy movie is now taken on a different perspective. I now see it like when I was a
sympathize
kid.
with Goofy.
Yeah, when I was a kid. Let me get to it. Oh, as I was a kid, I was like, Max is like, I'm on Max's side. Let me go hang out with this pretty girl because she was pretty for a cartoon, which is weird because Disney is now shaped high. Like, look at like Pixar and all that.
What's
like,
Simba's chick's name?
Nala.
Because that lion had no reason to be that bad.
Okay, first of all, they're cousins technically.
But you saw that, like you've
Yeah,
seen that.
I get it. Let me go. Let me go here before we go into the incest conversation of the lions because there is no other males.
If we can't talk about incestual lions, I don't want to talk.
Oh, yeah, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in to Bourbon and Bullshit episode 1, where we will end this podcast on incestual lions. No, Goofy movie. As you get older, you like as when you're a kid, you're like Max. Like, hey, let me go fucking on this concert. I'm a kid. I can only live once. And then when you get older, you're like, Max, stop being a dick. Goofy's trying his ass off to give you a good experience. Fucking compromise with your dad. And then older still, you're like, there should have been a happy medium there. Like, they should have, like...
Homie, just wait until you have a kid.
Never.
And hit you on a
I
whole
think that-
different level.
Yeah, that's
Which made it a great movie. If you think about the perspective
layers.
of if the kids watching it with their parents, both of them are identifying with it at the same time. And you're like, what the fuck? At both different sides of it.
Yeah, I think a good sign of maturity is recognizing that it's never one or the other. There's always trade-offs. There's some, like, both things are true at the same time.
Yeah.
And holding that at the same time. Like, most people can't do that. They're like one or the other.
Yeah.
Yep.
As you get older and you fucking grow up. Being older
You feel
doesn't...
for both.
Yeah. Let me put the caveat in there. Being older does not mean that you're mature. Like,
No,
True.
correct.
yeah.
Definitely true.
So as you mature, to your point, you kind of see that like there could have been a happy medium there. Goofy could have been like, hey man, Max, let me do this. I'll get you to your. I'll take you to your fucking concert, but spend some time with that.
You understood both, but if both could kind of see each other, you would.
Yeah, there would be the movie wouldn't happen. Kind of we wouldn't have a fucking movie because there wouldn't be no drama.
Well, there has to be a contrived conflict in a children's movie.
Exactly, a contrived conflict in every fucking thing. Yeah. But I think that's why I think that movie. That's why I feel that movie resonates so fucking much because it's timeless almost. I could. Through my life, I've been able to still see value in the movie. Where something like a Toy Story, oh yeah, it's sad, and I guess fucking Buzz Lightyear's funny. Still a good movie, but it doesn't hit as much as a Goofy movie to me. That's it.
Yeah, the thing with Toy Story is that we're more nostalgic about the toys in the Toy Story movie than we are about our toys.
And it's overall
which is
comedy.
What the movie was trying to have us
until the evil bear one, right?
Well, that was yeah. We had Toy Story 1 and 2, and then like a long gap, and then Toy Story 3. And then a small gap, and then Toy Story 4.
You think that is really cool? I think that's really cool about a lot of media, right? So they identified that the people who watched them when they first came out are now adults.
And they have kids of their own.
But you still have to, like, you're taking, those adults are taking their kids to this movie, selfishly, partially, because I enjoyed Toy Story. If I'm a parent, like, we're going to go see the next one, because I saw this when I was a kid. So you still have to give a message for the people who watched it when it first came out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
When I first watched this, you're almost growing up with me, and you're going to be able to kind of still give me something and give something back to the kids.
They did a really good job with that.
I'm curious how much of that is intentional versus the people who made it are just making the thing they want to see, and they are the adults that are nostalgic.
That's fair.
That time.
Yeah, that's fair.
So they're just making something that they want to see and feel nostalgic about, and it ends up reflecting. Yeah. Everyone else in society that's on that same path.
Yeah, the symbolism is even built into the movie, like at the end of Toy Story 3, right? Andy gives his toys to the young lady. Isn't that us handing off our toys to the next generation?
Yeah. And to your point, the writers, developers, fucking all these people are older, and they're like, hey, this story now resonating with me a little bit more, and I'm thinking about me giving this to my kid to hand off. And, I guess that's the fucking whole thing why people breed, have children, is so you can hand off something to the next generation, right?
Say it like that.
Breeding is what it's happening. But I don't know. I think it's funny, man, because like all these movies, for some reason, I always remember like the real comical shit. But then when you really sit there and like, Leaning Tower of Pisa was the first thing we thought of. Pisa. Leaning Tower of Pisa. And he was high as hell. Dude, that kid was so high.
Pauly Shore was high.
No, but the character he played had glasses on.
Oh, he was fucking blazed.
He was high as fuck.
Just like Shaggy, always high.
Yeah.
Shaggy and Scooby always with the munchies, always sneaking off.
Yeah.
Homie could hear the dog talk. He was on something, man.
That wasn't weed.
Yeah, but how long did it go? How old were you before you finally realized, like, oh shit, the whole time this has been going on and I didn't like realize it? Like,
oh, I must have caught on like 16 or so. I was like, oh,
no, much older for me because I stopped watching them at some point.
Yeah,
I had
at some point,
siblings,
like
so watching.
You in a lot of things, you kind of just make a decision. You put things in its place. Like, in your mind, this is where this thing holds. And Scooby-Doo was just, a cartoon. This happened.
Just Scooby.
But it's like at one point, all of a sudden, you're like seeing it fresh for the first time now that you're older. And you're like, oh, shit. Like,
he's just fucking high out of his mind.
Yeah.
Some of the best examples of that shit is like modern cartoons now. Half of them are teaching you a life lesson about you as an adult while you're watching it because your kids are watching it. And the writers who write
Bluey,
it know
man.
that. Bluey
fucks me up, dude.
Bluey apparently deals with... Yeah. Apparently this... So, after this...
Disney Plus.
So, after this, do some research on Bluey. But apparently a lot of fucking people our age dealing with childhood trauma watch Bluey with their kids and they fucking in tears. They're like, there are moments apparently in the show that you're like, oh my God. So Bluey fucking... It's brilliant because the parents are the ones who control the channel. If the whole time you are the parent, like identifying with the cartoon, the kid has no fucking say so. You basically made a cartoon for adults. But Bluey apparently hits different. Like every article I've read, everything is just like, bro, you're fucked up right now as a human being. Watch Bluey.
It's interesting because it starts off as a kid's show and it feels like a kid's show, and then you start paying attention to it, right? And you start seeing the kind of layers that they've layered in on the characters that are around. So obviously it's set in a family setting. Bluey is I think like the oldest son, and there's mom and dad and a younger son or something, and it's the adventures of Bluey and his friends, and they'll cover topics ranging from maybe that last time you ever get to play with a friend before you never really see them again. Like, we've all had that friend that you played with, and you don't really remember the last time that it happened, but you don't really get to see them anymore due to whatever reason. And there's reasons about how his parents are trying to reconnect with the romantic side of their relationship and stuff, and they found unique ways to do that with the family. So from the kid's point of view, it just looks like, hey, I'm helping mom and dad make dinner. From the parents, it's just like, that's too fucking real because I got no time to have dinner with my wife.
Yeah.
So it's not like as novel as it sounds, but it's, I don't know if it's in your life plan to have children or not, but if you do, it'll resonate a little bit differently with you after you have had said children.
Yeah, I was curious. As soon as you guys started mentioning cartoons, like the thing that came up to me was actually Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
I did not watch that until recently.
Is it good?
And I was like super impressed. I was like, oh my God, this thing has better writing than like 99% of the shows I'm watching right now.
That's why people were pissed. That's why people were pissed at how badly those real life versions of it came out.
The level of character development, story arcs, like how they weave them, they take on some serious, like, this one guy, like the loss of his son, like there's just so much deep stuff in all the, like, this kid show.
I'm so happy that you found this show.
I was super surprised when I saw it. I was like, oh my God.
What's it on Netflix?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Yeah, Avatar: The Last Airbender, the cartoon, is one of the best written shows. Part of the reason why it has such a cult following, which is people often think, animes and all this stuff is cult following because it's fun or whatever. No, a lot of these shows have so many layers and are so deep. Avatar's great show. I'm glad you found it, man.
Super well done.
And
I was super surprised when I watched it.
I mean, I've seen an episode or two. Like when it first hit Netflix, like it got a good little garnering of following. People were just like, "Hey, Avatar's back! Let's go crazy!" So I started watching a few episodes. I didn't dislike it, but I never really just sat down and committed to it. Is it worth saying, okay, I'm a 34-year-old man, I'm going to watch this show for the first time?
I'm totally with it. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's just well written in general. Just in anything you look for in a story, drama, tension, comedy, whatever. It's all there. All the character development, things make sense. There isn't much immersion breaking. There's fucking things that are paying off 3 seasons later. Like it's well developed. I think
I'll check it out. Usually, anime doesn't resonate with me super well. I don't know what it is about it.
I'm not a huge fan of it either on a lot of things. But this show, to be honest, like my first instinct when you said you weren't sure would be like, I feel like if you like Star Wars, you would like this show. It appeals to a lot of the common archetypes of like
I don't like
heroes.
Star Wars. I love Star Wars.
Yes.
And the world building's really good.
It's super good. And like you feel like you know the world after only seeing it for 5 seconds. Like it just feels like I feel like I know this. I feel like I understand this.
I see it referenced a lot in pop culture. I feel like that's probably enough of a reason to understand it in any ways.
That and even the subtle, really smart thing they do is every episode starts with kind of a real quick recap. The intro is a story building, telling you about the armies and why they're fighting in the worlds and the airbenders and why it's important. But while you're seeing that, you're seeing a map of the world and you're seeing the armies and you kind of get to know, you get familiar to the point where now you understand.
The geometry.
Yeah, almost damn near like geography of it. Like, math.
Math.
You get to know kind of.
It is really striking to watch that show next to Fast and Furious 5 and be like, which one's the child show? Because
which one has the
super
more
obvious.
depth of plot?
All right. First and foremost, I understand you're frustrated you didn't get brought back for Fast and Furious 3, but you don't have to take it on 5, okay? Fast 5 was fine. Were you on 3?
In Tokyo Drift, I can kind of be okay with 2, although it starts to get a little out there. But like everyone, like after that, it's just a slippery slope to like, what are we doing?
We're not doing that today. Today is not that day.
I'm sorry.
So, because we could do that.
Way to kill the discussion.
No. So, all right, guys. So, everyone tuned in. We're about to finish up our last drink, but this is about the time we wrap up anyway. So, we're going to go ahead and pour ourselves a Weller's Antique 107, which is from the Buffalo Trace Distillery, which is mostly known for Buffalo Trace, Pappy Van Winkle, Eagle Rare, Blanton's, all those fucking Holy Trinity ones that everyone's hunting. I'm going to give you guys some advice. If you are ever looking for something like Weller's, you're not going to find it in Florida unless you're part of ABC's like vault. There are several states. I could put them in the show notes where you can get this pretty regularly on the shelf, and you'll be able to get it at retail. Weller 107 is jokingly referred to the poor man's Pappy's, So if you're ever looking for Pappy's and cannot find it, try this out. It's going to be one of the most interesting tastes that you have. It is a 53.5% alcohol by volume, 107 proof. So it's going to be on the hotter side of what we've drank tonight. And for this roundup, we're going to do a little bit of like closing time. We're going to finish this off and send everyone off. So if you have been enjoying your alcohol with us, hanging out with us during this whole time, we want to thank you for that. Keep hydrated. Make sure that you do not text your exes. I will always stress that. I know it's going to sound redundant, but don't make some poor decisions. And don't eat the hot dog from the cart outside of the bar that you're at. It's not always
probably
good.
shit. And also, if you're just listening to this in the car, you probably shouldn't be drinking either.
Yeah.
I feel that's
unless
maybe...
unless you're being Ubered.
I might have to fight you on the hot dog. I've had quite a few good hot dogs.
I feel like you said that before.
Was it good or were you drunk?
No, it was good.
Oh, okay.
I'll go back sober. I have gone back sober.
Really? All right.
Yes.
Well, so either
He
way,
loves hot dog shit foods.
I look forward to Home Depot days just to get the hot dog.
Dude,
we're gonna go there.
there it is.
We're gonna go there.
There's the topic for the next one.
The next topic's gonna be bad
Home
foods.
Depot foods.
Home Depot foods. No, bad foods that turned out really well. All right, cheers, gentlemen.
It's a Home
Thank
Depot
you.
food.
And I do want to say thank you for everyone who tuned into the first episode. Honestly, we've been fucking around a lot and saying a lot of silly shit. But if you enjoyed the show, please let us know. If you didn't enjoy the show, keep that to your fucking self. But write me afterwards. We're going to sip this Weller, and then you tell me what everyone thinks. But first, a quick word from our sponsor.
Sponsor of Bourbon and Bullshit. Prepare for an evening filled with spooky seduction. Join the cast of Midnight Fable Cabaret's upcoming show to celebrate 8 sinfully decadent years of burlesque and all things that go bump in the night. On Friday, October 13th, doors are at 8, shows at 8:30 p.m. Tickets available now at bigbangboomcollective.com/tickets.
And we are back. Kev. David, go ahead.
I don't want to be a follower the entire time. I actually really enjoyed this drink. It tasted full. It filled my entire flavor profile. Like my entire mouth was alive.
Oh my God, I'm turning into you.
It was full of flavor. It was full of succulent flavor.
Is that how you really felt?
It is. I genuinely, this
Okay.
This was my second favorite pour after just the Elijah Craig. I really enjoyed it. Hit all,
Guys.
felt very full.
I'm proud of you.
Why?
Weller 107 is arguably one of the most popular ones of the ones that we've tried today.
Interesting.
Yeah, so Weller 107 is one, like I said, it's
Ravik's already killed his glass.
It's called the poor man's Pappy's for a reason. Like there's like a fucking formula you can find online, hashtag like fucking like Pinterest, where you can mix a couple variations of this bourbon, and people love it. But Kev, what do you think? As you've already finished your glass,
I definitely like it.
Hates it. Glass is empty.
It's close to the Elijah Craig in my book. I feel like definitely the Elijah Craig I can sip on more. I could keep going with, where this one like would be a little rough to keep going with it. But yeah, and it might be nice for just like if you're just doing like a 1 or 2 drinks, I might lean towards the Wellers.
I think if I was pairing one with a cigar, this would be the one I'd choose. And if I was just drinking one, like drinking was the activity of the evening, I'd stick with the EC rather, Elijah Craig.
Yeah, I might agree with that.
no, that's fair.
They're pretty close in taste, but Elijah beats out on the going for a longer duration.
And I only want to ask this question because I'm just kind of seeing contested. If you had to put a price tag on this bottle, Kev,
$185.
dollars?
Yeah.
I was going to say $1.49 before you overreacted, so I'm assuming it's quite cheap.
No. I'm making sure. Like I was making sure it wasn't referring to like proof or alcohol.
Oh yeah,
$149.
yeah.
All right, it is $29.
You're fucking serious.
Retail Weller's 107 Antique 107 is about $29 to $40 max at retail.
It doesn't show that price is just a construct.
It is the poor man's Pappy's for a reason.
So the reason I hit that price was you had me looking for this in Colorado,
So
and it was like close to 200, and you said it wasn't worth it at 200.
And so this is for context, and this is where I might bore some people. Weller's is one of these bottles that, depending on the state that you live in, there are rules and regulations about who could distribute it. So ABC in Florida has an exclusivity clause in their contract. So ABC is the only retailer in the state of Florida that can distribute this bottle. It is part of their deal. You can walk into mom and pops because they might have gotten it from other means, but typically no, they're not allowed to sell it. If I were to call Food and Drug Administration, whatever the fuck, who is the one for alcohol? ATF? Alcohol, tobacco, and food.
Sure.
Yes, one of those governments. But this is not allowed to be sold anywhere but ABC. So they have built in almost a scarcity. This is one of the hard to find bottles because they've made it hard to find. States that this is regulated in, Maryland.
So why not raise the price?
So
If you're
They
gonna-
usually do that. So
Yeah, if you have scarcity.
yeah, so they do that, but also ABC's made it so now you could only go through them. So if you want this, you have to be part of their vault program. Their vault program means that you have to spend about $1,000 a year to be part of the vault, and you might get an email from them, and you might be able to find this bottle. So there's
by spending money on other stuff, I will then be invited to be a club to have a chance to get an email, to have a chance to get this cheap whiskey that is presumably easy to make and presumably available.
Ding,
but
ding, ding.
because there's a contract exclusive,
1,000%
how
dings.
is Weller's winning?
Because
How are they
Weller's in
doing anything?
every other state is insanely sought after because it's what you just drank. You just enjoyed it at $29. People are buying it off the fucking
So
shelf.
this is just a Florida problem.
It's not just a Florida problem. It's a states that do not regulate it problem. The states that do have it, that it's not regulated by government sanctions and make sure that their prices are all regulated, will charge you $200 a bottle because they know that certain states don't get it. So because of that, this $29
It's all
bottle.
vendor markup.
Yep. So vendors, states, and a bunch of like contracts and bullshit. There's a lot of layers to it. Obviously, have made it so this is now insanely hard to get, and is now inflated the cost. Do you know how much a bottle of Pappy's Pappy Van Winkle Lot B costs at retail?
No idea.
So secondary cost goes for like $1,000. It is $69 bottle.
Why don't
gotta
why
say,
do they leave that kind of money on the table though? Why wouldn't you, as a retailer, you know it's going to resell in a secondhand market, even though you can't acknowledge it formally?
The reason why I sell so much is scarcity.
So why not sell it for $250 a bottle instead of $80?
Because it is there's a bunch of layers, but the distillery knows the cost. They sell it to the vendors, and that's who makes that decision to charge more. The distillery is giving you the product at $69. That's all. So RNDC and all these manufacturers, all these vendors,
the distillery is leaving money on the table,
They're
as
not.
are the distributor.
they're not. To them, they know the value of it and they know what's worth. If you mark it up, now people are going to mark it up even more, and people are never going to buy it. So to them,
But it's a
still
secondary
within,
market.
but it's still in the price range where people will buy it as a unicorn and still try it and still experience it. If you put it too far out, no one will ever try it, and you'll never get your product out. So they've remained in their end. They're still the good guys. Like, think about that. Like, I'm not, obviously, this is not coming from anything other than hearsay. So anyone listening, I'm sorry if I'm pissing you off.
Get mad.
Other than hearsay, but imagine if you sold a bottle at retail at $200 and it resold at $1,700. Would you really think you're going to move that bottle?
If it's selling on the secondary market for $1,700, then why can't
$1,000. Right
Okay,
now, Pappy is $69 and selling
Okay,
$1,000.
so I'm selling it to someone for $80 retail, and it's retailing for $1,000. Why can't I just sell it on my shelf for $500 and increase my profits
sure there's more to it.
fivefold?
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't have details in this.
I'm
But
sure there's more to it. I'm sure I'm
my
wrong.
guess is somewhere they're retailing this at whatever price, $29.99.
Mm-hmm.
But somehow someone is selling it at a much higher cost, and they're making the money that way.
There's some regulation
unofficially.
somewhere that we're not aware of or something, because no company in America
They would
is
not
leaving
leave
money
that
on the
money.
table.
Yeah.
No company in
That
America
much
is
money.
doing that. No way. Absolutely no way.
1,200% markup or something like that.
Because it's crazy. Because I have a bottle of this coming in next week from ABC Vault, and I could show you what I'm getting at the price I got it at, and it's comical. The piece has already been here, so for anyone listening,
3 minutes from here is what it says.
Oh, really? I thought it was already
Your
here.
delivery here is shit, by the way.
Yeah.
What is up with that?
I don't fucking know.
Do you? I'm interested because when we've done tastings like this before, we've purposely not announced the price or the alcohol.
Uh-huh.
We've tried to keep as much information hidden as possible before we actually taste it, because we didn't want it to bias what we thought of it.
No bias.
And we found that
I was wrong. It was $26.99.
Yeah,
Insane.
they've done studies and they've shown that
Wow.
when people were told that something is much higher price, they've actually enjoyed it more. And placebo effect.
Just like when you eat in a nicer
Same
environment,
thing.
the food tastes better.
Exactly. So I'm curious. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a high price to pay, though. Like, an extra $200 just to get how much more tasting better.
I don't disagree with you. I would never
It
disagree.
is the one side of, like, as much as I'm not a super aficionado in this realm, or like cigars or any other thing like that. Wine. I think it's interesting that people like take this much effort to collect and
yeah.
profile all these different flavors and
Yeah. I'm not shitting on anyone who wants
Super
to spend your
interesting.
money how you want.
But I don't like the it feels like just dishonest, like,
Inflation.
hey, I only like it because other people like it. And
Artificial
we're-
snootiness.
that rubs me the wrong way.
So I'm just I hate saying the devil's advocate phrase, but I will counter that with both of you thought this was significantly more expensive than it was.
Yeah.
So to that degree, we think that the value is more than it should be, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
we were
yeah, I might have
equating
been
flavor
about
with
it.
cost.
Exactly. So I think that there's a layer there where people are like, this is worth more than we're actually charging for it. And someone said, I'm going to make that money. I will argue that there's still a limit. Now, not against you, but to the people who think that. Not against you. I'm just saying in general. The statement is the people who think that there's, there's cost in it. I don't know, man. I am of the mindset, and to anyone listening to me and listening to this who knows me, I will never pay above retail. Anything I have in this house, I have never paid more than retail.
I mean, I used to think that about myself until I couldn't get a 3080, and then
I would never
paid above retail.
I bought a 3070 at retail. I bought I buy all my shit.
For those who have no clue why we just changed gears, those are computer parts we're talking
nerds.
about
We're
here.
nerds.
Sorry.
So I apologize. But I will never pay above retail, and it's not because I don't find a value in it. Maybe I'm just not as financially equipped as these people are. Because to them, time equals money. I get it. Instead of hunting for this bottle forever and waiting for the day that you'll eventually be able to drink it, and waiting for the day you'll be able to try it, fuck it, I'm going to pay for the extra. I get it. I'm not judging people on that. To me, it's not worth it yet, or not worth my time, energy, money. Does that make sense? Is that weird?
I can see the logic.
Yeah, I can see their logic where it's like, I'm not going to hunt for this bottle. I'm not going to waste my time hoping to one day buy it at retail. I'm going to pay the extra.
Well, it comes down to opportunity cost, too.
Yeah, there's a...
If they have enough money to spare, and it would take them, they can make more money in the time it would take them to figure out what they like better, or cure whatever, some other flavor, than just to spend the money and buy it, then I'm all for it.
Or
but
if it's worth it to you, just not have to bother with it to spend the extra
There
money.
was
what I don't like is the people who bullshit you
Yeah.
and just say, they're trying to gain clout or recognition, or like, hey, look at me, by saying they like something that is, they're being dishonest. Ultimately, that's the thing that rubs me the wrong way.
Are we back on hipsters?
What is frustrating when you get into any enthusiast community of any sort, right? Just no matter what it is.
The gatekeepers?
There's always, there's gatekeepers, and there's always these artificially overpriced products that don't rein in a lot of benefits. So, for instance, for me, one of my main hobbies is like computers. And one thing I've noticed that seems to be overpriced when you want to get to like the enthusiast level of those computers is things like peripherals, and like we were talking about case fans earlier, right? Noctua, one of the best brands there is. They're silent, they're ugly as sin, but they're excellent products. Ultimately, you can get case fans that do 85% of the job for a quarter of the price of a Noctua. So there's always those like outliers of the highest of high end for the most enthusiast of the enthusiast for an exorbitant price. No, not two are not the extreme example I'm making them sound like be right now, but this exists in every community. There's always that luxury product designed to be sold to someone who has a lot invested in that kind of thing.
Yeah, and you do that with anything people are enthusiastic about. You can do that with car parts. You can do that with home goods. You can do that with fucking chairs.
Oh, car parts is real.
I mean,
shit.
I think 2 out of 3 of us have a Secret Labs computer chair, which is on.
Do you not have a Secret Labs computer chair?
No,
Kevin?
he has some extra shit.
I have a Herman Miller.
What a piece of fucking shit.
I guarantee you my chair costs
I
more.
guarantee
I'm
your chair's
embarrassed that
better.
it costs more.
Yeah.
You spent way more than we did.
What I'm getting at is that it's worth the investment to you, right? So there's some people that think this is there's a luxury to everything.
I have no problem if you honestly know.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I know what this costs. I know what it should cost. But I know what it's worth to me. And if that's overly expensive and you still have taken that into account, I'm totally okay with that. What I have an issue with is the self-delusion of I want to look cool by overly inflating the price of some things and thinking I'm now better because I bought this thing. That lying, that self-deception, that's the part that kind of feels fake and just
should we call it the hipster protocol? Because I feel like
you're totally alienating.
Why are you fucking isolating these guys? Hipsters haven't done anything to you.
I'm not isolating them. I want them to be my friends. I just also want them to be honest. Like, you don't.
What is this? The early 2000s? Are hipsters the villains again?
Oh no, not yet. They're not the villains yet. But I'm not going to get it. I was about to say something. It was like, we do not have time for that. No, I get it. Like, when I think I was talking to a good buddy of mine. He's a pretty enthusiastic bourbon drinker, right? And he equated it to, he's like, I hate to sound like a dick. I'm like, well, you're starting off. When you say that, I feel like you're about to say something.
You're starting behind the 8 ball.
Yeah.
You do that.
And he's like, he quoted a comedian or some shit. He was like, yeah, when I think about parking spots, and it's like, hey, there's a $200 fine there. He's like, oh, well, we had to drive around and find parking. He's like, no, I can park there. It's just going to cost me $200. And I'm like, the fuck? He's like, I have the expendable income. I don't care. And I have the money to fucking just pay it and go. It seems like it's someone else's problem. And I'm like,
fines are for poor people.
The fact that you said that to me is not only like, who is it? He's out of line, but he's not wrong. Like the Falcon.
I have no. But if he's genuinely like that, I respect him for that. He makes sufficient money that he weighed the opportunity cost of.
That's what I said to him.
Getting another parking spot.
That's what I said. I was like, it's a dick thing to say, but you're right.
Was it a handicap spot?
No, it was after.
That's the dick thing.
It was like after this, you'll get a fine for a certain time of parking.
Fuck all that. Yeah,
and he's like, it just costs $200 to park there. It's fine. I'd rather just get in there now and not worry about parking.
In his mind, like, what if there was a reserve spot that cost $200
to keep?
That's the same in his mind, and I'm fine with that. But what I'm not fine with is
the fake people that are saying it to be cool.
Yeah, I'm going to do it because I want to tell everyone I did it, and so that everyone thinks I'm cool. That, I think, is a piece of shit move.
But that conversation came from the context of, I was like, I won't overpay for bourbon. I refuse to. And he's like, look, honestly, and he brought it through back to what we were saying earlier, just to wrap it back up, was nice. I don't want to hunt for something forever. Yeah. I don't want to one day hope to try something, buy the full bottle, and then be disappointed. Let me pay the $55 a pour. Let me pay $100 to pour and go, this is trash, and stop wasting the next, what would be foreseeable future of my time hunting for this bottle.
Yeah.
And
that's how I got on my computer part. Like it was during the COVID when the that computer part came out that I wanted. Mm-hmm. And how much time do we spend? You and me.
Oh, yeah.
Spend on that, just looking for stuff, sending each other articles, sending each other sales.
Yeah.
And eventually I just saw a price. It was on the high end of what I wanted to pay. And I was like, you know what? I'm just fucking tired of dealing with it. I just want to pay and be done and have the part.
What if you picked up a part-time job for that same amount of time you spent doing it?
Oh,
you could have paid for the difference and more.
100%.
And that's what he was getting at. He's like, I would spend so much more time stopping at stores, stopping at places, stopping to mom and pop shops.
Just to see.
Hunting. And then there are the flips. I'm sure someone's listening to this and saying, "Oh, the trip is half the fun. Yeah. The hunt is half the fun." And I get it. But for some people, that's
if you enjoy it, that's fine.
And for him, it wasn't. And I just thought it was really an interesting way of seeing it. Where I'm like, bro, this $26 bottle, arguably was better than everything we tried tonight.
Yeah.
And it was the hardest to find.
Yeah.
Each one of these basically landed in my lap. This I had to try for. $26 bottle was harder to find than the $150 bottle. The best tasting bottle. And then
How much was the Elijah Craig?
Elijah Craig's 57 to like 70, depending on where you go.
So it's definitely competing with it. I think if I did have a night of drinking, I'd go with Elijah Craig. But if it was a one-off, I might go with the
But if you
when
walked
you're
in,
comparing the opportunity cost.
but if you
Craig
walked into a
every
liquor store and they were both equally available,
yeah.
probably the
would you go with the
Willers.
26?
It is literally dependent on, am I going to drink more than 2 drinks in the night? I'll probably go with Elijah Craig.
Okay.
If it's just 2, I'm going with the Wellers.
That's fair.
Frankly, I'd just buy them both if they were both available.
If they were both available.
Just, I mean, honestly, if you're in the liquor store,
to be,
just
YOLO.
pick
to
'em-
be
just pick 'em
clear,
up.
we are on a show called Bourbon and Bullshit, so we're probably buying all of these if they were available.
Yeah,
It's a
they're
tax
there.
write-off at this point. Thanks for tuning in. But guys, hopefully you guys had some fun with me today.
Oh,
Tons
yeah.
of fun.
Tons of fun. And hopefully you guys, at least, even if it was just completely wrong information, and I'm sure we're going to find out in the comments,
Absolutely.
you learned something, you had some fun, and we got to know each other a little bit better. And hopefully our listeners got to learn something about us. And if you answer some of these questions on your own, I want to get filled in. Kevin, thank you. I know that you really don't care enough about me to want to be on the show. I'm joking. This is off-air joke. But thanks for jumping in here with us and taking on some of the stress from this first episode. Awesome. Thank you for being here. Do you have
My
anything you
pleasure.
want to say to anyone or anything like that?
Nope, my pleasure. Like I said, my concern was more for you than it was for me.
Guys, everyone thinks that he is going to turn me into enemy number one.
With any luck.
But I do that on my own anyway, so welcome. Thanks, Kev. David, do you have anything you want to say to anyone listening at home?
So just in case you're not shameless enough to plug yourself, I wanted to make sure the community knows that Arthur is obviously a very good friend of ours. We enjoy playing games with him a lot. He is a Twitch streamer. You're going to see him at gvirus228 on Twitch. On Friday nights, you're going to see us all do absolute fucking terrible bullshit at video games, probably Hunt Showdown.
But we have so much fun.
But the way you get the most out of that is you drop in that comments and you start talking with us, and we have a full conversation with everybody who wants to drop in that comment box. So it's a good time.
Honestly, thank you for that, because I probably am not the best at self-promoting, which is probably why it took me forever to do this. But guys, if you do want to support the show, I'm going to drop some links in the comments. There'll be a Patreon, some other stuff. OnlyFans, of course. Give a shout and a follow to our one of our number one sponsors, Midnight Fables. She's fantastic support. Oro Fable. She will be on episode 3, so it's going to be.
She's unbelievable.
Guys, I'm talking about, if you thought these two motherfuckers are entertaining, this...
she's so much cooler than we are.
We were just the appetizer.
Yeah. This is just getting warmed up. We want to get ready for her. But she is fantastic. So Aurora Fables at Midnight Fables. Follow them on all the socials. We'll put some comments in the show notes. But if you do want to follow us on Instagram, which is the main one I'm running right now, is bourbon_and_BS, because apparently cursing is frowned upon. I might switch over to X, where Elon allows everything.
Nice.
But thanks everyone, and hopefully you guys do have some feedback. If you guys want to talk to me and reach out to me, you could reach out at bourbon_BS at yahoo.com. I think that's what I made. If not, I'll put it in the show notes. Don't worry about it.
Who still uses Yahoo?
Because I am... No, you're right.
Make
it's
a Gmail like a
it is
normal for
Gmail.
C.
100%. First episode, we're working out the kinks. It is at Gmail. It'll be in the show notes. Thanks, guys, and I appreciate everything you guys do. I appreciate the support and everyone who came over from Full Frontal Nerdity Show. We talked about this. We finally did it. And my mantra for the rest of the year is stick to the fucking plan. Thanks, guys.
Don't text your ex.
Don't text your ex. Bye, guys.
Hey guys, today's episode is brought to you by Burn, Termite, and Pest Control. I first met Joe Byrne on Full Frontal Nerdity Show and decided to give his company a try. They have been the best pest service I've ever had. From flexible scheduling, attention to detail, fair pricing, and everything you love about a small business, I highly recommend Joe Byrne and Burn, Termite, and Pest Control. It's a family-owned and operated business with over 30 years of experience in termite and pest. You can reach Burn, Termite, and Pest Control at 321-297-7985. Once again, 321-297-7985. And let them know Bourbon and Bullshit sent you. Thanks, guys. See you next time.